confusing to a lot of exam candidates is the use of the same material for two exams that have a completely different focus. And I'm going to tell you how that's possible. If you're confused about which certification is right for you or what the real difference is, keep listening. I'm going to give it to you in simple terms. I'm Angela Murray, SHRM SCP, SPHR, and your favorite HR exam coach. This is another question that I get on a pretty daily basis, and that is, what is the difference in the SHRM CP and SCP? Now, of course, you can find the technical difference on SHRM's website, but I know that's not what you're here for. You're probably here because you're trying to decide if you can handle the SHRM SCP and what you're going to be facing if you decide to go that route. So we're going to start with the structure of each exam. The CP is for the HR pros who are early to mid-career, and that does include people who have no experience at all. Typically, these are candidates who have operational roles in their organization, and your operational roles are the positions that focus on the day-to-day administration and the management that make the business run smoothly as we know it. This is important for you to know when you're trying to understand the difference in the two exams, because the structure of each exam aligns with the role of each type of candidate. So these are positions like HR coordinators and your generalists or your functional specialists. Now, because this test is aimed at understanding and executing operational duties, the exams test you on your everyday tasks that are foundational in operational roles. So the test is going to cover the implementation of HR policies, handling common HR issues. So the questions are structured to demonstrate your ability to apply common HR practices in routine situations. So that means you're expected to execute strategy, not design it. You're responsible for carrying out designs, not constructing them. The scenarios on your exam, they're going to be straightforward. They're going to be more focused on implementing policies and implementing procedures. The questions that you're going to see are going to be a part of the day-to-day operations, like the hiring process or handling workplace conflict or performance management issues. The SHRM SCP, on the other hand, is for experienced candidates. So these candidates usually work as HR managers or business partners or officers. These candidates are senior level. That requires more strategy. It requires more critical design. Strategic duties are the tasks that drive the operational roles. So your operational roles, they're only possible because someone has already analyzed the overall business goal and then decided which initiative is going to make it possible for those goals to be achieved. So the initiatives are then pushed down to the operational level to be communicated and carried out. HR's strategic role is to integrate the HR initiatives into the overall business goal and lead those initiatives. So the questions are more complex. They are going to target strategic decision making and leadership and design. These are going to involve decisions that impact the entire organization, like talent management and workforce planning and succession planning. Those things that are going to have a long-term impact. What's confusing to a lot of exam candidates is the use of the same material for two exams that have a completely different focus. And I'm going to tell you how that's possible. Both exams cover the same foundational areas and they have the same competencies. You're going to find those in the SHRM basket. It has both competencies and the technical knowledge that you're going to need for both exams. But while the foundational and the knowledge is the same, the application and the depth of the two exams are completely different. For example, the SCP exam might ask you to develop a talent acquisition strategy for an organization that is focused on expanding into new markets. The CP question might ask you to improve the efficiency of the recruitment process in the now rapidly growing organization. So both questions are going to require you to have an understanding of the talent acquisition process to either develop the strategy or improve the efficiency. But scenario one requires you to drive the growth of the organization by developing the strategy to get it going. Scenario two asks you to respond to that growth. Scenario 1 at the SCP level is going to require workforce analysis and development of community partnerships, enhancing your employment brand. Scenario 2 is going to focus on revising your job descriptions, enhancing the applicant tracking system, or scheduling group interviews. So in this scenario, the CP questions would be focused on supporting change. An example of that might be offering training and support. You can do that by training employees on the enhancement of the ATS. Another example is managing concerns. You can do that by listening to managers' concerns about maybe the efficacy of the group interviews. Another example is monitoring progress. You can do that by tracking whether the enhancements to the ATS have been sufficient in keeping up with the growth. The SCP would have a higher level focus, like workforce analysis to determine the gaps in the workforce or engage leadership and stakeholders. An example might be to meet with the leaders to try to get their buy-in, communication of the overall vision. An example of that might be to articulate the vision to the entire organization. Development of a strategic implementation plan that would outline the objectives, the timeline, the success metrics. And then you want to always evaluate the impact. That is going to assess the impact of the plan on the organizational performance and then determine whether it has supported the organization's expansion goal. So as you can see, the study material for the exam is the same, but your study approach is going to be completely different. When you're studying for the CP exam, you want to study basic employment laws, recruitment processes, employee relations, those kinds of things. When you're studying for the SCP, you're studying topics like organizational development and succession planning and more advanced compliance issues. So focus on how to influence and drive change within the organization and how to build strong relationships and how to build strong partnerships. So that about sums it up. I hope this has been helpful in helping you to decide which exam is right for you. Let me know which exam you decided to take in the comments. And if you still need help with deciding and you need a little bit more examples or a little bit more differentiators between the two, let me know that in the comments as well, and then we can talk through that. See you guys next time. Bye.